Secrets hidden in plain sight. Powers that move the world in the shadows. Questions no one dares to answer. Step beyond the matrix. Subscribe.
The human has been genetically manipulated to make us subordinate to authority. The controlling hybrid bloodlines, they did not have those abilities withdrawn. That's why they're interbreeding with each other all the time. When you open your mind and you let consciousness in, you start overriding the body program. And then you start to become unpredictable. You don't get scammed as easily, and you can override the control system as well if enough people go through the process of true awakening. Not awakening, oh, there's a conspiracy, it's political and it's financial. You really awaken to the consciousness that we really are, then you can override the program. And that's when people go, whoa, so that's what's happening.
We are currently ruled by a cabal or ruling class that consists of greedy executives, woke generals, corrupt politicians, and satanic celebrities. Their goal is to constantly pit us against one another based upon our skin color, our religion, our class status, and our politics, all for their gain. They create false flags to send your children to foreign countries to die for profit. They poison our food, water, and medicine for population control. They slowly whittle away at our basic God-given rights. They distract us with music, movies, and fashion to rot our brains. And they hate us. They see us as cattle. It's dumb, disgusting, easily controlled, but useful. Personally, I am fed up, and I am asking my people, the American people, to rise up with me within the bounds of the law and take back our country, our security, our economy, and our American dream. And if our politicians stand in our way, we will remove them and elect new ones to fight for us. Our system may be broken, but it can be rebuilt peacefully if we work together. Your party cannot save you. Both sides are used by this elite class. We should all brace for terror attacks, mass shootings, technology failure, and economic collapse. The ruling class will not go down without playing every card they have left in their arsenal to retain control. I want to close with a special message to my brothers and sisters in arms. I am disappointed in you. And remember, just because I speak sharp words against you, it does not mean that I do not love you. 96% of you participated in the EUA COVID vaccine, and I know less than half of you did it willingly. They lied to you, they threatened you, they coerced you. None of you got an FDA-approved vaccine in 2021. It did not exist, and for that you should be furious. I'll agree with you that this is a situation that your leaders never should have put you in. You were just trying to be a good soldier and follow orders. But there is a powerful quote from the movie Kingdom of Heaven that I love. King Baldwin says, "Remember that even when those who move you be kings or men of power, your soul is in your keeping alone. When you stand before God, you cannot say, 'But I was told by others to do thus,' or that virtue was not convenient at the time. This will not suffice. Remember that." I'm getting pretty black-pilled, so I'm gonna take a couple weeks off of social media and seek God. I do feel like I need to tell you all that the March 7th protests are going to be used as a pretext to declare martial law because this administration wants to suspend the midterms. I'm not saying we shouldn't do something, but I'm just asking you to have patience.
So the government accidentally admitted that consciousness is real.
What is consciousness and where does it come from?
What is consciousness and how does it happen?
Consciousness also is what makes life worth living.
Now, the CIA has studied consciousness for decades and released documents on remote viewing, alternative dimensions.
The War Department says more files will be released soon.
And even how human consciousness interacts with itself and reality.
And it makes you more resilient, it makes you more creative.
Plus, scientists have also found that meditation actually changes the brain, alters your nervous system, and even changes your emotional perception. AKA, we have the ability to transform our realities using our minds. Therefore, they know the power that is generated when you are connected to yourself as a spiritual being. So all of us talking about intuition and tree hugging, we were right. And honestly, the deeper you look into this stuff, the harder it becomes to ignore or deny. Are you aware of this?
These data centers might be the biggest problems that nobody's taking serious right now. Because they're not just buildings. These data centers are massive machines eating water, electricity, and land. Everybody keeps talking about AI like it's just something on your phone. Chat GPT, robots, apps, video. But nobody talks about what has to be built behind the scenes to keep these things running. These data centers need insane amounts of power. They also need water to cool the systems. They need land. They need infrastructure. And the bigger AI gets, the more facilities they're going to build. Now think about what that means for regular towns. That's power grids getting strained, water being pulled away, heat being pushed into areas, and the people living in these areas might not realize how serious these data centers are until they're already built. And this is where it starts feeling dark, because these billion-dollar tech companies are building the future, but regular people might be the ones paying the price. Higher bills, less water, more heat, and more pressure on these communities that never agreed to become a part of this AI experiment. And honestly, the question that people need to start asking is simple. Are these data centers really being built for convenience? Or are they building the infrastructure for a world where AI controls more than you think? Because think about this. If AI keeps growing at this speed, the data centers are not going away. They're going to multiply. And by the time people realize what they're taking from us, it may be too late.
Some people just live their lives and die, never realizing that they were born from the spirit world. It can be difficult for them to understand while in physical form. Often they refuse to believe even after experiencing their true spirit selves. What about reincarnation? Reincarnation? I don't know much about that.
Reincarnation is the Buddhist philosophy where humans are reborn many times between this world and the next. And I agree. Huh? I get the feeling that I was an aristocrat or king in a past life.
You guessed correctly. You were an aristocrat in your past life.
Seriously?
Is that so hard to imagine? People are reborn in different countries and eras as they accumulate experiences for growth. These are the core principles and teachings of reincarnation, a cycle of perpetual rebirth. But when the time comes for them to be reborn, they must forget everything they know and start their lives anew once again.
But why is that? Because that is the rule on Earth.
Wait, what do you mean?
What we mean is, the whole challenge of being in human form is key to remembering your spirit self.
Whoa, but wait, that's way too difficult. It's impossible.
I understand. It certainly is difficult on Earth today as we know it. Just mentioning aliens or the spirit world can be controversial. It can get you laughed at too. Which is unfortunate, because throughout life, people have been given different opportunities to remember their true selves and the spirit world.
Haley.
And since they are unable to remember, they find themselves in conflict over different philosophies and harbor animosity toward each other, unaware that they were once families and friends in their past lives. You see? It's such a pity.
That's because you've all forgotten your true selves. Our true selves? What do you mean? I don't understand. Who are you? When looking at me, what you actually see is you, reflected back. Try to remember your own true self, the truth of your soul within you.
If you didn't notice, the camera at the very beginning of the cartoon is flying through the astral plane, and you see many different souls surrounded by an electromagnetic field, because it not only just surrounds your physical body, your soul is inside of this field. Towards the end, you see reflections of themselves. The people are meeting themselves, however, in spiritual form. If you rewatch it, you'll gain the full meaning of the cartoon.
Okay, so this lady just said, what if all the data centers that are currently being built are for the underground bunkers so that it doesn't pollute the underground system, so they're building them up here? Because why now all of a sudden are we having all of these massive bunkers? So I went down the rabbit hole, and let me show y'all the timeline. So in 2025, Catherine Austin Fitts, who was a former U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development, she actually came out and said that there was a missing $21 trillion worth of funds, and it all went to this $21 trillion underground city that had been built between the 90s and the early 2010s. She also discussed this on Apple TV on a show called Beyond Belief in 2019. During the 2025 interview with Tucker Carlson, she said that that $21 trillion that went missing was actually secretly diverted by the U.S. Gov between 1998 and 2015 to construct a network of about 170 underground and undersea bunkers intended for the elites. Now, based on the info I was able to find, it says that the United States is home to an estimated 4,000 to 5,500 operational data centers, accounting for roughly 40 to 45% of all facilities facilities worldwide. Now, they want people to think that these data centers are currently being built because AI has taken off. But do y'all know that ChatGPT was only publicly released on OpenAI on November 30th of 2022? And even though we're just now seeing the uprise of all of these data centers and seeing the way that they're draining water, this is nothing new. In fact, the first massive commercial hyperscale data center per Google says it was built by Google in 2006 in the Dalles, Oregon, spanning over 1.3 million square feet. It revolutionized the industry by introducing a massive warehouse-style architecture specifically optimized for cloud computing and internet services. So, if these data centers have been around since 2006 and they started building those bunkers in 1998? And now all of a sudden we're seeing an uprise in data centers to the extent that cities are losing electricity, cities are losing water. Would it not potentially make sense that there's a strong possibility that these data centers are not just for the people above ground, but potentially for the cities underground? I don't know. When she saw it, it just made me go down the rabbit hole. I decided to do my research, and this is what I came up with. So let me know what you guys think in the comments. Per usual, this is all alleged. Can't confirm or deny any information, but I definitely implore you to do your research. Whatever else I find out, I'll be back. Like, follow, stay for some more tea.
Is this truth in plain sight? Showing a deer change into an alien? I mean, come on, you all. This is very creepy stuff, in my honest opinion, and it really feels as if they are telling us without telling us. It really feels as if they are telling us about the shifting, and I will just leave it at that. I'm sure each and every one of you out there know exactly what I'm talking about. Because why else would they show this in the trailer? Why else would they show a deer change into an alien? Why else? Again, this movie Disclosure Day seems like it's showing a lot more truth in plain sight, just like pretty much every one of these movies do. And what is up with the deer anyway? Because even in the movie Leave the World Behind, they showcased deer. So what is really going on with all of this? What are they trying to tell us? Because aliens are demons. They are. Aliens are demons. So again, what are they trying to tell us with this trailer? Again, it's very bizarre stuff. What do you think?
Most people think the world runs on politics, money, and celebrities, but behind power are ideas. Everything is mental, everything vibrates, everything has polarity, everything moves in cycles. As above, so below. So everything in the spiritual realm, it reflects in the physical world. When I was Christian, Muslim, and religious, they didn't like me asking questions. See, in religion, they don't want you to go spiritual. In order to know the Most High, you have to go spiritual, because that's how you go within. Before physical, everything is first spiritual. So the kingdom of the Most High is within you. It's not in religion. And once you understand these 7 principles, it'll change your life. Number 1 is mentalism. All is the mind. Reality begins in consciousness. Number 2 is correspondence. As above, so below. Number 3 is vibration. Everything moves and vibrates. Number 4 is polarity. Opposites are the extremes of the same thing. Number 5, rhythm. Everything flows in cycles. Number 6, cause and effect. Nothing happens by chance. And number 7 is gender. Masculine and feminine energy exist in all things. Once you change your mind, change your habits, change your environments, your reality will begin to shift. Protect your energy. Watch what enters your eyes. Watch who enters your life. And watch what controls your attention, because attention is currency and awareness is power. All praises.
Okay, you guys have got to listen to what this man says very carefully, because they are trying to destroy humanity right in front of our faces. And if you're any part of a human and not an NPC, then you would share this out to spread awareness, because this right here is the real war. Check this out.
Folks, I'm currently standing in the Rio Grande River right now. This is what it looks like right here, all dirt. All dirt. You're looking at an environmental catastrophe, what this is. The new Meta data center in Los Lunas, New Mexico, takes 75 million gallons per year to cool down the data center. And this is what we're left with. Another data center is being built in El Paso right now, a Facebook Meta data center. How much more water is that going to take? This is going to be, folks, this is apocalyptic. This is, I've never seen a river like this. By this time of the year, you couldn't even swim in this. It would take you under. The undercurrent would take you out. This is unbelievable. No more water. So what does that mean for the farmland, the ranch lands, the cattle, the houses? I mean, are they soon going to start moving people out of this area? Are they going to start moving people out of here to what, 15-minute cities? You're not going to be able to survive out here? What's going to happen to the agriculture? Folks, what we're looking at here is unprecedented. We've never seen anything like this before. I'm sounding the alarm bells. This has never before happened. I've never seen it like this. Bone dry. Bone dry. All of it. Unbelievable. Better write your congressman, because these politicians are as corrupt as they come, all getting paid off for this. So what does this mean? We're going to trade out humanity for AI so they can track and trace you better. And who's bringing this in? Well, it looks like to me, Trump is taking down the deep state, right? He's going after Obama. He's going after everybody, but he's replacing it with AI data centers, ruining the environment. This used to be a gushing river. It's gone. If we don't do something now, folks, humanity's screwed. I'm telling you that right now. We are screwed.
They're saying 23andMe and Ancestry.com was a CIA project, essentially. The CIA were using these entities to find some type of bloodline of Nordics, aka aliens.
So they were looking for alien DNA in humans.
Correct. I think it's going to get spiritual and scientific at the same time. Because I've heard another theory where they said they're using 23andMe and Ancestry.com to where they're looking for the bloodline of Jesus. This is coming from a whistleblower that used to work for the CIA, Len Buchanan. He's a remote viewer for the U.S. Army. He's now retired. And he worked for CIA program Project Stargate, where they had psychic soldiers and remote viewers. That's what he said. He's saying that these entities are being used to find these bloodlines. So what do you think about that? Do you think that's something that's happening?
Yes. Oh my goodness. So like 10 plus years ago when, 23andMe and Ancestry.com, and I'm like, I think it'd be interesting to know my background, but there's no way I'm ever going to willingly give up my DNA. And my first thought was exactly that. They're hunting down the lineages. They're hunting down the bloodlines. If you think about it, right, like within sort of the experiment of human beings and planet Earth, there have been, I believe, up to 20 different species that have spliced their DNA with us along our evolutionary journey, and they continue to do that. So it's not just like one bloodline that they're looking for. There are many humans who have higher than normal Nordic or Pleiadian DNA, higher than normal reptilian DNA, which are usually the royal families. They keep it in the bloodline, literally. Right. So they could also be looking to recruit Illuminati members who have high reptilian DNA. Like,
right. That's why they constantly try to, they're putting it in our food, putting it in the skies. In the skies.
They're keeping us distracted. They're keeping us in fear. They're keeping us dull, and I think we mentioned last time, right? Attention is currency.
It's
energy.
It is. And I find it interesting too, going back to 23andMe, and who owns that?
Oh, that's right.
There we go.
Little person by the name of Ann Wachicki.
The hell's that?
Okay. Ann Wachicki was married to none other than Sergey Brin, the co-founder of Google. They go bankrupt just last year.
23andMe?
Yeah, how convenient.
Interesting.
After you get all the DNA.
Wow.
They go bankrupt because they had a data leak.
Yeah.
Right?
Wait.
Come on.
No, get this.
Hold on.
So that really hurt their stock. Company goes under, goes into bankruptcy court, sells for pennies on the dollar, right? Guess who buys it? A nonprofit owned by the same very person.
Get the fuck out of here.
And bought her own company through a nonprofit. She still owns it.
They just hustling. They just hustling.
Gets even crazier.
Come on.
Jesus.
Who was her sister? Her sister Susan was the CEO of none other than YouTube.
YouTube, we love you.
Side note.
No beef.
No beef.
But that's crazy.
And then Ancestry.com. Guess who owns them? Blackstone.
Oh, shit. The usual suspects.
So...
You don't talk much, do you, Israel?
Israel talks when Israel has something to say.
I'm just trying to pass the time, man. Listen, I know you're a robot, but don't you have feelings? I mean, isn't it hard to destroy innocent people that have never wronged you?
Everyone's wrong, Israel.
Really? Wow. If that's the way you feel, maybe we'd all be better off if you didn't exist.
Israel has every right to exist.
Okay, dude, relax. Don't get so defensive.
Israel need rest.
Here? This is where you want to rest? This is the single most dangerous place you could be situated. There are so many other places you could be, Israel. It would be safer and would cause less problems. Why? Here.
Israel shouldn't have to leave. Everyone else should leave. They're the ones who are stupid.
Boy, Israel, you are a handful.
As you can see, they've been telling us for a long time what's going on. There is two sides in this war, good and evil. It is not Democrats and Republicans. They're both being funded by evil. If you want to be on the side of good, I encourage you to join me in this fight and be the light. My name is Derek. Follow me for more.
Why is no one speaking about the fact that the government only mentioned 4 different aliens? What about the rest of them? We live in a big ass universe and the best y'all can do is 4? So they mentioned the Greys, Nordics, insectoids, reptilians. What about the cats? It's a reason why they didn't mention the Lyrans. Remember they said cats are bad luck? Nonsense. Cats represents the Lyrans, the oldest civilization in our universe. This video is about to get a little dark and a little deep. Stay with me. I remember when I was young, I used to watch Thundercats every Saturday morning. How many people remember Saturday morning cartoon? The Thundercats was trying to tell us something. The Lyrans are believed to be one of the oldest human civilizations in our galaxy, often called the original seeders, the cosmic ancestors. Why do you think the Egyptians always had a cat? The cat can see in so many different dimensions. If you are sick, a cat can purr on you and heal you. They said that Thundercats was just a cartoon. No, they was telling you the truth. They just wanted you to believe it was a cartoon. So why didn't the government speak about the Lyrans? By the way, this is the Lyran star constellation. If you are drawn to cats, you might be a starseed from the Lyra star constellation. The same thing that's happening right now, it happened back then. We are all dealing with a cosmic war. So many people that walk this planet
They are not from this planet. They had to leave their home world because of ancient wars. And guess what? We are still fighting the same people right now. You know how they say it's truth in plain sight? You ever look at the word copycat? The people that took over this world, they are just copycats. They are copying everything from the Lyra star constellation. Everything goes back to number 9. 9 goes on forever. This is the reason why they say the cats have 9 lives. When you go to the Lyra star constellation, it is controlled by the goddess or feminine energy. All you have to do is look at the word. Feminine is number 9. Don't forget that the governments and the elites are copycats. Number 9 is our number, but they copied the system and turned number 9 into number 6. They will never tell you about the Lyran star constellation. They're going to tell you about the Greys, Dracodians, the Nordics, and the Insectoids. We already know about this shit. We're not impressed. Tell us about who really helped create everything in our universe. It wasn't the Greys. It wasn't the Nordic. Not the Insectoids. Damn sure not the Greys. We are having a universal cosmic war.
What if I told you there is a massive New Mexico rabbit hole that has to do with Epstein and deceased UFO researchers? Let's get into it. Now first, let's start with this investigative journalist, Alicia Rodriguez, who blew the lid on Epstein's New Mexico Hell House, aka Zorro Ranch. Now, if you're not familiar with this place, some of Epstein's victims explain grape experimentations and other nefarious acts went down here. Now, after reporting on Zorro Ranch, she says she will not only be leaving the state of New Mexico, but the entire country altogether. She says she was hit with DEW, direct energy weapons. And I quote, "This morning I was hit in my home office by 2 episodes of what I later learned were likely direct energy weapon attacks." And she goes into more detail on her Substack saying, "I no longer think that the DEW was on a plane. It was likely a backpack-sized device on my roof or on a nearby roof for the first round. This was also likely a private military contract operation, perhaps on behalf of private entities." Oh, you mean that same technology that was used in Venezuela earlier this year, and the Department of War, who actually confirmed it on their X account, literally saying, "Yes, we have direct energy weapons." You also mean that same technology that the now deceased anti-gravity researcher Amy Eskridge was also saying they were using on her, just like she was saying here in her text messages. Which leads us to our next connection with New Mexico and anti-gravity UFO researchers, Martin Aiden Schaefer. He claimed that he was experimented on and had implants throughout his body and was being controlled by extraterrestrials. He also claimed that other researchers were trying to harm him. And here's some of the pictures he posted on X saying there's 3 finger bruises, we are not alone on this planet. And the harming part, he stated, "When Mark threw me into traffic, that was attempted manslaughter, but who is Mark?" He must be talking about this guy, Mark Sokol, who is the co-founder of Falcon Space, a propulsion lab startup, and also the ex-boyfriend of Amy Eskridge. Bro, what? Now, we will all love to talk to Schaefer about this, but then he gets locked up under criminal charges, but then he mysteriously dies under police custody. So there's that. And if that's not weird enough, you guys, they had this memorial for Martin, but they don't even put his birth date, and also they spelled his last name wrong. What is going on? To me, it seems like they just tied up loose ends, threw up a one-pager, and then just called it a day. I don't know, seems like we all need to be digging into New Mexico a little bit more because it seems like some serious activities going on down there. Let me know if you guys want a bigger breakdown on this, and I'll put it on my YouTube, and let me know what you guys think about all this down below.
So he goes to scratch his neck. Oh my gosh, that's a mask. And there it is. Holy cow. You tell me that's not a mask. So he's itching himself right where the mask go, and he's like, I got an itch under this mask, and he screwed up.
When they brought on retired Vice Admiral Robert Harward for another war propaganda segment. Now the problem is this wasn't Admiral Harward. This was an actor wearing a mask. Let's do some education though. The CIA has been able to make hyper-realistic masks since the 1990s, and they've probably been able to do it before then. But a good example of this was in early 1990 when the head of disguise for the CIA, Jonah Mendez, demonstrated their whole capabilities by doing a presentation with a mask on. You can see here she takes off the mask at the end. This was in front of President George W. Bush at the time. Now, this used to be a conspiracy theory for a while, where we would hear the government uses actors to wear masks and to brainwash you, and it sounded nuts.
I was an undercover CIA officer for over 25 years. We liked the idea of stunt double masks. They're quick on, they're quick off. They dramatically change your appearance, and we started using them and found them to be valuable to our operations.
The mask is the culmination of a lot of work that we did at CIA over a period of, I'd say, 10 years, developing that technology. It was a big challenge to come up with something that finally actually animated and worked to really fool a person closer than 3-4 feet from you. Masks that are so good, that are so realistic, that you can actually get up close and have a personal contact with someone for an extended period of time.
What if I told you they're wearing hyper-realistic masks and you've never actually seen the elites in the flesh? You've seen it in movies, right? The way they can make actors look like someone else entirely, and you're like, whoa, that's crazy. But what if that's not just Hollywood fantasy? What if it's happening right in front of you every single day? What if these oligarchs, these celebrities, these powerful figures aren't the people you think they are? They've mastered the art of disguise. I'm talking about hyper-realistic masks so good you could be standing right next to them, even touch them, and have no clue it's not them at all. These aren't your cheap rubber Halloween masks. No. We're talking full-on SFX makeup, prosthetics, bodysuits, and even surgical procedures, creating an entirely new identity. It's a blend of technology, artistry, and medical science so advanced, it's like something straight out of a movie. So the next time you're staring at someone on TV or even scrolling through social media, ask yourself, am I really seeing the real person, or am I just staring at one of the most advanced disguises ever created?
We are dealing with a real problem because we believe the government is really the government. No, they are pirates. These people did not come here to make your life better. They came here to take everything away from your life. No man or system is greater than the laws of the universe. But what they do, they came here, replaced the laws of the universe, and gave us their laws, their bills, their statutes, their acts. It's just a myth. Pirates. This video is about to get a little dark and a little deep. Stay with me. Never forget that no one man is bigger than a system. Yes, it's really a system. The system will replace all these so-called puppets, and you know what they'll do? Give us more puppets. These pirates came here and turned our planet into a store. Oh, what? You don't believe me? They took our fruits and vegetables and sold it back to us. So anytime you want fruits and vegetables, you gotta go in the supermarket and pay for it. But it was free. Some places it's against the law to collect rainwater. If they catch you collecting rainwater, they will give you a fine. I mean, shit, you can't even collect water. They came here, took our land, and put a price tag on it and sold it back to us. If you get sick and go in the hospital, you know what they did? They put a price tag on our organs. Yes, you can sell your eyes, your liver, your stomach for a price tag. And for the right price, you can get a brand new heart. I'm still trying to find out who the hell is Bill, because every month we gotta pay bills. You have to pay a water bill, a light bill, a gas bill, tax bill, property tax. But everything I'm naming was actually supposed to be free. The planet gives us all of these things naturally. It's free. Everything that's free, they put a price tag on it. They are not governments. They are pirates. They go from planet to planet. Just so happens they ended up on our planet. Now it's a big ass corporation. Do you know why they say our body is a corpse after we pass away? You know, it's really simple. You got corpse and corporations. But did you know about this? Do you know the real reason why they tax everything we do? Remember, the word mortgage means death pledge. The people that control this world, they look at our bodies like it's a house. And since our spirits live inside of our body, they can tax the body. The body is considered a house. Therefore, you can put a lien on it.
property tax. They're not taxing your spirit, they're taxing your body.